Any questions, comments, concerns, grievances,
Oh,
sufferings?
all
Um,
kinds.
um, well, well,
Well, I'll go. I got a lot of issues. So one is when I put my modifiers on, a lot of times my computer will freeze up. Other times it gets glitchy,
Mm-hmm.
where like I couldn't see the subdivision surface modifier unless my mirror modifier was also on,
Mm-hmm.
and it would just disappear. And sometimes it would be like a weird looking frame, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. So I just like stop what I'm doing and then come back to it, and then it worked again. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of frustrating. Also, I don't understand how to use symmetry. I
Mm-hmm.
forget symmetry with the mirror modifier without creating the incorrect or the the incorrect normals. You know what I'm talking about?
Like like reverse normals, like they're outside inside out or whatever.
I'm trying to understand. So I liked using symmetry so that that both sides were the same, but then it doesn't it doesn't duplicate when you extrude. So that's when I put on the mirror modifier, and then I noticed that some of the faces then get weird. I don't,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand it. That's all. I don't really have a question. Yeah.
well, I also have a question.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Well, it, well, it was about that packet file I was doing. Well, I knew how to do it now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the Blender
Hmm.
pack file.
Yep.
Okay, that's good.
But I'm also confused about the simple character Deborah Anderson dot blend. Do I have to put that single name on there?
That's
That's
an
an
example
example.
of how to name your files, and you just swap out my name for your name.
Oh, okay.
Any other questions?
I had a question. In your feedback, thank you for the detailed feedback. I always appreciate your really good feedback. You said something about hold on, let me get to it. Your window panes aren't separate. So maybe I was confused by the assignment. It was my understanding that the whole book nook was supposed to be a single big piece of geometry. Did I misunderstand that?
So yeah, the book nook was supposed to be connected, but I showed in the demonstration last week of like you can create the window pane, the window grills, but the window pane should be separate.
Oh, okay. I didn't. I maybe I missed that. And then you said something. Your window grills don't have holes, so you lost points
So
on
that's
that.
essentially what I'm saying. Like when you separate the window pane, then like um, if you imagine a real window, when the glass isn't there, there's holes in it.
Oh, okay, I understand. So, okay, because what I had done is just use the single piece of geometry, and then I drew some lines and extruded grills, and
Mm-hmm.
that's not going to be right because you're going to want to apply like transparency to the panes or something, and it would
Yeah.
be
So
hard to do
that's
the way I did it, right?
yeah. So that's what I was gonna go into once you finished. Like the context to that is once for everybody else, once you get into texturing, like in sometimes in game modeling they might put things together, but we're doing like TV film production modeling. So when you get into texturing, it'll be easier to apply a glass material to your window pane and then a wood or whatever material to
Got it.
your window
Makes perfect
frame
sense.
slash grill.
Okay, so my last question was about the three drawers at the bottom of the nook. Like I honestly, when I was doing the assignment, I kept putting off working on that because I didn't know how I was going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, all I did is add some new lines, some new loops, and I just extruded a rectangle a little bit to make it look like a drawer, but it felt like I was cheating. What was you didn't say anything about it, but what was your intention for the drawers? Should I have created a hole for it to fit it? I just didn't, and then make the face a little bit smaller than the hole. I mean, what would have been a better way to do than what I did? I feel like I cheated to do that.
I could show that a demonstration of that.
Okay.
Well, I wasn't able to figure out how to make the arms for my
That's for
model.
this week. We'll get to that
Okay.
in the demonstration.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Hi, Deborah. I had a quick question. I was wondering if how can we identify n-gons in our model? Because I was using the select by trait feature to select all faces that had greater than 4 edges.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that I had found them all, but apparently I missed some. So is there like a trick to finding the n-gons in your model?
The exact thing that you said, but I will do a demonstration of that too.
Okay, thank you.
Did have one other question.
Mm-hmm.
When I was doing the book note there, I was following one of your previous videos, or the video that you had posted on, is from a previous class.
Mm-hmm.
When you went to extrude or push in for your, I guess your seating space, I don't know what I did, but I don't think I got like the duplicate geometry or separate geometries out properly.
Mm-hmm.
So, which I ended up having to end up free modeling the incomplete window grill.
So can you explain a little bit more? What was your issue?
I guess selecting the different faces and then pressing P to separate.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't separate out with the sliced, or it didn't separate out sliced faces. It kind of separated out as one singular piece, but it looked like in your video it separated out into multiple pieces. Right,
Okay.
I guess into it still kept out all of the individual faces,
Mm-hmm.
but when I went to do it, it only had one singular face.
Okay. After I feel like post the drawers demonstration, I'll probably use that to do some separation stuff. Any other questions?
I mean, we don't have to go into. I don't want to waste too much time on the previous weeks because I know then you feel rushed.
It's still beneficial.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Build their skills no matter what, right?
Yeah. I'm here to teach. You are here to learn. Any other questions? The mirror modifier thing, I'll go into that more when I go to the character demonstration.
Yeah, I wasn't able to get the textures to save properly.
Okay. Let's start with the.
Well, at least I did
drawers
the
and
coloring.
there.
Well, at least
We're not in texturing yet, so you shouldn't be coloring anything.
Oh, sorry.
Make sure whatever has been taught in previous modules or what's being taught in the current modules is the only thing you should be learning. You can, like, if you go to YouTube and you find out about other things, that's cool, but I don't want any like extra stuff being used for our assignments because that's why I put the purpose of the assignment on the top of the assignment page and the submission page, so you know exactly what I'm grading you on. Sometimes when you use other methods, then I can't grade you on what I'm grading you on, essentially.
Right. Okay.
All right. If we just scale this up a little bit. And X.
Well, it's just I'm actually new to Blender, so I don't think I have any experience. And plus,
Nobody does.
I originally had autism, so that's why I try and look up the stuff and look up some things and.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily only talking to you. I'm talking to everybody. But no, this is a beginner
Oh.
class, so nobody has experience in Blender.
Okay. Thanks.
So you are not alone. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
All right. So if we just do control, oh yeah, tab edit one first. Yes, X. No. Choose edit two, and let's go down here. Let's just do this. Control five, 6, and S. Let's see. C. Can I do? All right. Point one. S. Ugh. I feel like this is with the Blender update because I keep having to reset even on my other computer with other. I feel like there's something else that I keep having to set up. And I don't like it. Let's see. SZ.1.
I had a weird thing too, Professor Anderson,
Mm-hmm.
where it reset that packed, always create packed file.
Mm-hmm.
It reset that checkbox. I had to turn it back on.
I'm wondering, like, I might have to go into like the forums or something to figure out if other people are having trouble with this. I don't know what's going on. I'm actually generally a bit weirded out by technology, particularly today. I think my father telling me to always be observant makes things scary sometimes because, like, I was uploading a TikTok, it was acting kind of weird. I was on CapCut, it was acting kind of weird, and then I was on, like, I rarely do DoorDash, but like I was on DoorDash and like I could see the dude driving and the line was being wonky, and I'm like, what's going on with technology? I know these are little things, but I don't know. I'm scared. So I'm just like, why is all the technology going crazy? What is happening? So
The machines will rise.
no. That's why when I talk to machines, I always say please and thank you. Oops.
I fear to think what my Amazon Echo has recorded with my ranting at it not listening.
Man, that's why like that feature where like people can like drop in on your Amazon and like just talk to you. Absolutely not. That was scared the bejesus out of me. Like, hello, Deborah. Like, what? I live alone. So
Although I'm sure it works great for large houses if you want to use it as like an intercom system.
yeah, but since I live by myself, nobody else should be talking. So even when stuff like stuff doesn't necessarily drop. I think on the outside of my bedroom window, like it's just right there next to outside, and there's like an alley, and I think some people do stuff in the alley, and I'm like, why am I hearing that noise in this room? I'm in the bedroom. This is weird, but I think it's outside. So
Acoustics.
this is why I don't watch scary movies.
Yes.
Let's just take this part and kind of go do this with it. Turn it on. Edge, snapping, E, Y. Okay, and we're just trying to simulate this a little bit. So for the drawers, I guess I want to create 3. Let's do Control R, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or no, I just want to do. Oh wait, actually, I just want to do that. I'll just do 2 drawers. And SX. And then I'll do another one for the top part. Oh, sorry. Turn off snapping. That part. All right. So for the drawers, my thing that I would do is I could start, and this can be done in so many ways. Once you get more expertise, you might come up with your own way. And this is partially the separate thing. So I want to separate these two faces. So when I go to P, you have to make sure you're selecting the right thing. Because I have a selection right now, excuse me, I'm going to do separate by selection. We're not supposed to have material on here right now, so what there is separate by material. And then there's separate by loose parts. So sometimes, particularly if you're a beginner, and you might have loose parts that you don't realize are loose, then it might be like going into multiple separations. But the most controlled way that you can control how you separate is just to separate by selection, so you can get really specific with it. And even if you have to do it in multiple goes or whatever, you can do that. So if I Control R, if I add something right here, and then Control R, add something up here. If I do, let me just paint this. I'm just going to switch to select circle so that I don't have to like do all that work. Shift. Okay. And then I'm going to P and select by selection, or sorry, separate by selection. I'm kind of going to move this tab out the way and select and move this out the way. Oh, wait, didn't mean to do that. I wanted the girl part to stay. Forgot. Alright, that is good. And then on the back. Alright, front, back. As you can see, I'm like double checking. This is, part like just a good practice, but part, just using Maya for several years. You just gotta make sure everything is right. So you just want to be like, all right, do I have? Because even when I was selecting in the front, as you can see, one of these was already deselected in the back. Didn't know I did that, but that's why it's good to just like, okay, is everything correct? And then shortcut selection, tab in object mode, select these, and move them out the way. So these are the holes that I was talking about earlier. And then if I go back, nope, this one, go back into edit mode, I can't see, wireframe. All right, then I'll just bridge these. And bridge edge loops. Shift R. Shift R. Shift R. Shift R. Oh wait, that was, oops. I did Control R that time. Escape. Edge loops. And just as a reminder, Shift R means to repeat the last action or the last tool used. Shift R.
What are you doing right now? I'm not clear why you're doing what you're doing.
I'm closing because all these parts had holes in them, so I'm just selecting each opening to the window frame. I'm
I see.
clicking
I see it now.
and Shift R, and then I can. I don't need both of these, so I can 3.
Sorry, what is Shift R?
to repeat your last action. And I can select. Oh, wait, wrong object. This is a different object. So I'm selecting this. Am I? Or maybe I should do X-ray. Okay, X. And delete the faces. I can also, because this is using the origin from it being a part of this, I could reset my origin to be at the center of my object. A way to do that is object set origin. The origin goes to the geometry. So now it's centered. And I can bring that back. And yes. So that's that. So that's, you know, I could separate multiple times, so I'm separated for that. And now if I go to this part, I can select these two, use my shortcut, and then move I can center my pivot again, origin to geometry, move this out of the way. Okay. And now what I'm actually going to do is using my professional expertise. I'm going to close the hole again because I needed the front. Let's see. Oh, because I want to use the front to make drawers. So I'm going to close the front again. Bridge edge loop. I just don't want to have to redo and like stretch it out and da-da-da. Like, oh no, this is already at least close to the size that I need. And then I can what is going on? Oh, it's on edge mode. I'm like, what is going on? How did it get into edge mode? Oh, because I went into edge mode to bridge edge. Got it. Going too fast. And then E Y. Let me 3. Go back that far. And then, so like if I had to animate these drawers opening, this is what I would do. And then I can move this back here. Let's see. And the Y, can I just press 0? No, it's not going to go where I want it to go. Let me just do edge, snap that over there. And then, so that's going to be the correct size. I'm going to extrude this inward. I'm going to go into X-ray mode, and then I'm going to tab into edit mode and extrude back here. I have edge snap on, that's why it's snapped over there. Am I snapping in the right direction? Yes. Okay. So, another cool tool to use that probably should, I was actually trying to use this in another, earlier, like week 2 or something, but I couldn't remember the shortcut for some reason, even though I've used this several times, and then I looked it up yesterday. So to isolate your object, if you have such a big scene and everything's away, to isolate your object, you could press the / button, which is the same as the question mark button, and you could just see your thing. Sorry, I couldn't think of that hotkey earlier. I was trying to do that in the earlier class, but I was like, you know when you like know something, but then you just don't know it anymore. I was like, I have used this so many times. So yeah. I can do this.
Is it just hit / again to get out of that mode?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to scale this up in the X. Scale up in the X, and then Control R. Oops. Control Z. Control 1 to 2 of those. Control R. And then double click. Oh, it keeps turning off my emulate numpad because I don't think I should be able to double click with emulate numpad on. SY. And just to show you, if I go to edit preferences and input, oh, emulate numpad is on. I think if it's, or did they fix that? Let me turn this on. Oh, they fixed it because it used to be that if you had emulate numpad off, you could double click, but if you had emulate numpad on, you actually had to use alt click. So they fixed that, I guess. Cool. Because you should just be able to double click at all times. So that's good. SY, scale that up. Then I'm just gonna go to face mode. Select those two faces, go to X-ray and the side, and just E, Z. And then, so those are my drawers. And then, however, if I want to create a separate, and I'm just going to press the backslash again. If I want a separate drawer handle, I can create that. If I want to extrude it, I can add my, stuff. But now I can move this open, and it will, those are my drawers. And then if we go back to the idea of, we're going to go into edit mode, and we can shortcut P and then loose parts. This will, because they're two separate drawers, then I don't have to select each one. It's just the loose parts. So hopefully that makes sense what loose parts is. It was a one object, but it was still not attached by a face. So if I want to have the ability to just bring out one drawer at a time, then that's what I would do. That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. So if I tab, I do this. Let's just resolve these edges. So now, like we discussed earlier, the way to see if you have, I'm gonna do this. Let's do K. All right. So, in order to see if you have n-gons and stuff, you go to select all by trait, and then you go faces by sides. So again, that is the top. Select all by trait and faces by sides. We have this little dialog box in the corner. It defaults to equal to 4. So now we can go to, if we want to see tries, we're probably going to change this to less than 4. So if we go back here, those are our two triangles. Initially, you might just go to number of vertices 3, which that works for triangles, but if you go up to 5, then you're only going to find your 5 gons. It'll be equal to. So if we go back down to 4 and then go greater than, then we get our n-gons. So anything with more than 4 sides. So does that make sense? And you have to be in edit mode for this.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Anybody got questions about anything that I just went over?
I think I'm now realizing what I did wrong with the with that selection tool, or I guess the separate.
Okay. As long as I can help.
I think I had all of my geometries way too close together on the back.
Okay. Yeah. Just one more demonstration before we move on to the character demonstration. We let me split this up. Split this up. And let's see, this is our front. Alright, so I'm gonna just delete these faces and so sometimes, let's see if this does it. I'll just undo, I guess. I don't know if I'll undo, but let me see if I move this, throw it off. I'm just moving the origin to try to test how it will mirror across. So if I'll go into object mode and add my mirror modifier. Yes, it is mirroring according to where the origin is. So if you've like done a bunch of stuff, like say you made this side and then you did a bunch of stuff and it just like with the window panes that I had, the origin was like way off because it came from the book nook. And so I had to center my origin to my window panes for it to like work right. So if I did all this stuff, I was like moving and shaking, and then I deleted some stuff, and now my origin is right here. When you do your mirror modifier, it's going to mirror according to your origin. Now, also, I've gone over like you also what can happen is like to fix this first. I would turn this off, and then I would go back to my origin to change it, and I would turn on snapping and then move it to the center. And then you have to make sure to turn this back off because then you'll just be moving the origin again. And if I turn back on mirror, do I have to? Okay, it just updates. So this is how I fix it in that instance. But then also sometimes you just like have your stuff over the center line. Like you might just have this stuff over here. So now when you mirror it, it's overlapping itself. So you can either fix it by like if I saw this, the way I would fix it is to change the origin to this part. Okay, but it's still over the Z line. So I would change this to the grid and then move, oops, see, gotta make sure you turn off the origin, and then move this over to the Z line, and now when I do the mirror modifier, it's doing it right. Now, for the previous thing where our origin was over here, if I'm like, all right, I'm just feeling a bit lazy right now and I don't want to fix my origin for whatever reason, another way you could do this is we're in object mode. If I do a Shift A and create an empty, and it doesn't matter which empty you create, an empty is just a representation. It doesn't actually render. They use this a lot in rigging and all this stuff, all that stuff. So I just go with plain axis. So it's just a representation of a thing. It's not actual geometry. So I would create my empty axis. Your empty is going to insert where your 3D cursor is. Your 3D cursor is typically always at the origin, the 0, 0, 0, 0, x, 0, x, 0, y, 0, z, 0. Sometimes you might have moved your 3D cursor over here. So if you're empty, if I do Shift A and do an empty, like, oh dang, that's not where I want it to be. to fix your 3D cursor, you just got to do Shift C. It goes back to the origin. Now Shift A, empty my plane axis, and then when I go, oh snap, cancel. Shift C. No, go off this. Sorry. If I go to my object, I can mirror across, like I can use an object or something as my center point. So since even though my origin is over here, I can't, my empty is at the center point that I want. So if I either do the drop down and find the empty, but when you have a bigger scene, maybe you have too many objects and you're like, I can't find it, you can also use this eyedropper. So click the eyedropper, hover over the empty, and now your object is mirroring over your empty, and I turn that on and it's mirrored correctly. Now if I turn that off, it's mirrored incorrectly. So yeah. Does that make sense? Okay, Joshua.
Yeah, okay, so your cursor's down there at the bottom. The thing with the blue arrow and red arrow, what is that? That's your,
The
like, up in your window?
mhm.
The origin.
Yeah. What is
Yeah,
this? That's a tool?
excuse me, sorry. That's the gizmo. So when you move all your stuff, that's the gizmo you're using, but it also represents where your origin is, which is where is your center point. So if
I don't see that at all when I'm working.
you asked me how to turn it off.
Oh, no, I was talking about that thing there. This whole
This
area.
thing, one of the questions you asked me in the inbox was how to turn it off.
That's not what I was talking about. I was talking
Oh, were
about,
you talking about this one?
yeah, this stuff.
Oh no, you didn't ask me to
and
turn this off.
And the four
Are
underneath
you in
it.
object mode? Or like, okay, so at the top, if this is off, is this on? This arrow with the little thing up in the
Yeah.
top right, is that on?
Yeah,
And you still can't see it?
correct.
And you have your object selected?
Edit mode. My object open. So you just said?
Do you have your object selected?
Yeah. And I just see regular looking cursor. There
Are
we go.
you?
Oh, there we go.
What did you do to fix it?
I put the move tool on.
Oh yeah. You probably had the selection tool on.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get there eventually. All right, so when I say that this is the origin, that can also be used for the center point. So this can be beneficial to move it in turn, like, okay, let's say I hide all this. This is gonna be the easiest demonstration. So if I shift a cube, and we're not gonna move all this stuff. We're just gonna tab Control R2, Control R1, and then Control R. We're not gonna get all spiffy with it. I just need to do a bare bones show of what this is gonna be. You can imagine a more complex version of this. All right, so I'm gonna separate this by selection. So currently, oh, this is actually the center of the box. So even if I go to Object, Set, Origin to Geometry, this is going to go to the center. Say I wanted this to be a door. If I rotate it now, it's going to rotate from the center. So this could be a revolving door. But if I want to rotate it from where you would typically, where is the box? Where you would typically rotate a door from, this is when the origin comes into play, or your center point comes into play. So my center point is right here. I'll turn on edge snap. I'm going to, let's see. Oh. I'm going to move this over. Oh, I have to actually turn it on. I'm going to snap it to this edge. Make sure to turn that off. So now, if I was to rotate my door, this is my turning point. So that's what the origin is. Like, yes, it's a representation. Up until now, we've been using it as the place that you move, rotate, scale, but it also can have a more purposeful purpose where you can use it to, you can change the origin or the pivot point to help you do stuff. So does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool.
The door thing.
All right. So all I got left is the other like character mirror modifier stuff. Does anybody have any questions before I get to that? Um,
I
you
I
can
tried
always
using the skin modifier and it freaked me out the first time I saw it.
Akira, you asked this question 20 minutes ago. Did I answer that question or I didn't see it initially? You could only see the plane from one side. Did I, like, what is that in relation to?
Oh, sorry. I just was wondering what the window panes and since you can only see them from one side, like from the front side, you can't see it from the back, right? Is that design?
Yeah, like, so there's a, a concept called back facing in 3D. So you can turn on back facing to see both sides of a plane. Typically, when you're just modeling, you're typically modeling something and you're only seeing the outside of the face, so that saves you on like CPU and all that type of stuff. But if you need to see the other side, you can turn on back facing. I would have to look up how to do it because even with me using Maya for years, I always have to look up how to turn that on, and then I always have to be like, do I want it on or off? Because I'm just like, this is such a phrase to choose this to be, and I was like, is back facing good or bad? Not that it's a good or bad thing, but I'm like, do I want it on or do I want it off? So yeah, but seeing one side, I'm guessing now that I'm a little bit older, it makes sense. I don't know why in my 20s I was like confused in my teens, but the back face is off if you can only see one side, and I guess the back face is on if you can see both sides.
Oh, okay, thank you.
No problem. What? Okay, and that. Oh yeah, I'm looking for reference images. Just a reminder, if you're modeling a character that is not one that I have on the page, you have to get it pre-approved. Just that a reminder about that. Let's choose that one. Okay. Front. And reference. Let's do 3. Insert this again.
Also, I've tried to and replicate the model I was going to be making for this for the assignment that was due September 21st, and my idea was my idea was inspiring my
Like original
taking
character.
inspiration. Yeah,
Well,
that
if
was
you
what I was
if you're gonna do
say.
an original character, you have to submit it to me and get pre-approved. You can't just do it.
Yeah.
So you have to
Okay.
email me and send me the image, and I can say yay or nay.
Okay.
And do that asexually, ASAP, as soon as possible. All right. For the front, I'm gonna move this over to the front. Okay. And for the side, I'll actually rotate this and Z negative 90. So that is facing that way. And then this back, this flip, and turn that on so I don't touch those. Alright. So when we talk about the character, well, I guess let's do this first. The skin modifier, like I said in the announcement, and make sure y'all are paying attention to all the announcements in the messages I sent you. One, don't use bevels on characters. People throughout the semesters have done this, and I guess as a beginner that makes sense, but you don't need bevels. We don't bevel characters. We're modeling the whole entire thing. Also, the skin modifier is step 1. I've had people before where because this is a 2-week project. So week 1, so this week you're modeling your character. This is 2-week project. The purpose of the assignment is to learn how to model organic shapes. You should be trying to make your character one mesh. That's why you have to get your character pre-approved, because fruits or vegetables with like rubbery hose attachments, like limbs, no robots, all that stuff. Like, the idea of this assignment is for you to model one body. So that's why you have to get it pre-approved. So this week, you can concentrate on modeling the body of your character. So that's to say, you don't have to concentrate on the head this week, because I'll show you next week how to attach the head. You can do whatever you want, but I'll be grading the body this week. The skin modifier is step 1. Also, make sure that you are, like I've said earlier, the Zoom is not the main instruction that you're receiving. This is a hybrid course, so you're getting the bulk of your instruction on the modules. You're getting additional instruction on the mandatory Zoom, so combine those. And then I mentioned a few weeks ago that there are extra pages that are optional, but sometimes the questions students ask me are answered on the extra pages, so that's why you should go look at it. It's optional, but like, don't not look at it. And this is just if you're interested in it. I'll also say, if you make sure you're taking inventory, make sure you're writing all this, taking all these links, because when this class is over, you don't have access to this anymore. Sorry. That's how, I don't know why they do that. I don't know why Canvas or Santiago does that. But if you need to start now, go back to module 1, it all should be theoretically in your YouTube history, depending on how many videos you actually watched. But we got 3 more weeks or whatever, so make sure you're taking down all these links and copy them to a Google Doc or whatever, so that you have access to this, and maybe even copy and paste all the stuff. People have asked me, do I have a PDF version of this? No, because since I've taught this class, I've changed it every semester, so it's not I don't have the capacity to. I'm always updating it, so I don't have a version. I'm always improving it as well, so trying to make sure that you all have everything that you need, from whether it's feedback or oh, okay, this student did this last semester, maybe I should add this part. So again, this is an optional page. You have hand topology. You don't have to get too handsy. You don't have to get too much into the hands this week. Hands are, as we all know, if you're an artist, hands are the bane of everybody's existence, including AI. So we will forgive you on the hands. This is face topology. You'll be working on your head
And
next
feet.
week. Yes. Feet. Clothing. This clothing will be an optional thing next week, because I just want you to get the body and the head down. Obviously your character has clothes, but we're making this a 2-week project because characters are hard, and you just need all the time you need.
Yeah, because I tried to render the legs on my character
Mm-hmm.
and it almost looked bad to
You're a
me.
beginner. Give yourself grace.
Okay.
So
Thanks.
these are no problem. No, these are like 3 different examples of like step by step. And I already told you all I put stuff on the extras because these are like long videos. I typically only make you watch like 10-minute or shorter videos on the other page. But like sometimes people are like, oh, how should I do this? Have you watched any of these? And obviously, some of these step by steps don't adhere to the rules in my assignment. So don't copy it word for word. It's just a guide. You got to take the meat and spit out the bones. So take what you need from it. If you need to be like, oh, how do I attach the head to the neck? Go to one of those that have attached head and neck. If there's a video that the head and the neck is separate, people are like, oh, I can do the head and neck separate. No, that's not the requirements of my assignment. This is just guidance so you can see somebody else with 3 different kinds of characters. You can see somebody else create a character. So make sure if you need help, you can watch the whole thing or you can just fast forward. Okay, skin modifier, cube. Oh, shit. Wait, let me see. Dang it. Did I got add-ons, extra. So I thought what did I give you, a loop tool or something last week? I thought that was in there. This is extra objects. So there's one for curve objects and one for mesh objects. I typically have both of these on. I'm just going to turn on the one for mesh objects. Because my, let's see. It gives you, it gives you extra stuff. So like in some instruction, they'll be like create a cube and then tab into edit mode and everything's selected, and then you do merge at center, so you have one single vertex. But also, if you turn on the extra objects, you can just create a single vertex. Ta-da! And then I can go to object mode and add. And the order of your modifiers are important. So when you watch the video about the skin modifier, I'm not sure if he messes up because sometimes people just like go with the flow and don't edit out their mess ups. But mirror modifier first, skin modifier, and then subdivision surface modifier, and I'm gonna do like a level 2. And then you have to be careful with this. Like you don't have to start like this. This is just an option. If you want to, you can start with just shapes. But the way this works is we're gonna press E for extrude. E, and then I'm gonna go, and this is, gotta go to edit mode. Edit. Okay, thank you. All right, so E to extrude, and when you're doing the center of the body, it's very much the best way to like adhere to a specific axis. So I'm going to do E, and it's all willy-nilly, but I'm going to do Z so that it goes up. Oh wait, did I add all that to another? I added all that to the cube. Of course. Mirror, skin, and something. Okay. Mirror, skin, and subdivision 2. Okay. All right. So we stopped there. Okay. And so when you're on the center of the body, you definitely want to stay centered. So I'm going to do E again, because you might go up and you're like, oh, this is at the center. Don't trust yourself. We're gonna go up the Z and E, Z, and the way you can scale each part of it, you can do Control A, scale things up. You can also go from here. I'm going to extrude E, and now I don't have to adhere to a specific axis because I'm kind of going off the center. E, E, and again, the purpose of the skim modifier is to do what is called a base mesh. Your base mesh is your starting point. So again, this is step 1. This is the longest you should stay in this. G, and then E. This is my starting point. All right, this looks okay, and I have to decide, oh, do I want the subdivision to be 1 or 2? What is too much geometry? Also, you got to contend with, like, the skim modifier doesn't give you the best geometry when you do this. So the skim modifier, you do your little base mesh. Oh, this looks crazy.
Looks
But you
that
can
looks
tell.
really cool. I
So
think I could do that with my character.
let me see. Should Control A.
Maybe next time.
Okay, if I scale it down, you can see. So you can see if I Control Z, it looking all wonky. That's not what you want. You kind of know what good topology looks like. You kind of don't at this point, but good topology is we don't want confusion. So if I do a redo, edit, redo, it's much better. How can I add something in the middle? Or if I select the edge and right click subdivide, yeah, I could add an edge in the middle. So I just right click and subdivide, and that added one vertex right here where it was previously not a vertex. I click my shoulder, and so I'm just trying to scale this down, which is Control A, sorry. Escape, Control A, so I can make that look a little bit better. And it looks crazy. Control A. Control A. Yeah. My rush. It's not gonna work out. Control A.
Quick question. How do you get to this current view where like it's semi-transparent, but you see a wireframe?
So right now I'm in X-ray mode up here. So if I click this button next to the, the solid render, this button, I'm in X-ray mode, and then I go to this overlays drop down, 2 over to the left from X-ray mode, and then I turn on my wireframe under geometry.
Okay, thank you.
So the order in which you apply your modifiers is very important. You apply from top to bottom. So I'll apply, and this is the only time you apply stuff. Don't be applying subdivisions, please, on your finished character. Please don't do that. Just on this method, which is the skim modifier method. Only this. All right, and then you have to apply in object mode. So let me switch to object mode. I'm going to apply the mirror, apply the skin, and then apply the subdivision. And this is my starting point. Now I could use this and like match it to my stuff. But again, the skim modifier is just to create what is called a base mesh. Your base mesh is just like a quick starting point. This is the first step. Now you can go, okay, now I can move some, we learned in week 2 how to push and pull points. So if I go, and it's 7 o'clock, so if anybody has to go, feel free.
But, yeah, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, I can.
But you still gotta match it up to your object, and match it up in this section. And people typically are like, "Oh man, this takes a long time." Yes, there is no shortcut. Like there is no shortcut, and this is probably why I would, if we go back.
So should we be trying to model at this point what his just body looks like without the clothes?
Yes.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, this looks really cool.
To
I think I
clarify,
can try using that trick. I can use that trick to make the
Cool.
that character.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well.
just to
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay.
Somebody
Bye.
else has a question?
am I muted
Well,
or am I
No, we can
audible?
hear you. You can
Okay.
go.
Well, it's 7 o'clock.
Rakan, somebody else has a
So
question. Let's hear them.
sorry. I'm just saying if I
You've been talk.
can.
I need to hear somebody else's question. Okay, please.
All right.
Just quick clarification. We're mainly focusing on the body this week, not the head, or you wanted us to do head and body separate?
No, the body.
Just the body.
The next week we do the head.
Okay. Just the body.
So
Thank you.
this is a method right now. It's going to be similar to some of the videos from the extras where you could, just start. I'm going to get rid of the top and the bottom, and this, I'm not going to do this too much because the class is over, but I'm just going to do this
Yeah.
really
Okay.
quickly.
So could I be excused?
Yeah, I said anybody who has to go can go. Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
No problem. Bye. So we're going to add these images, or sorry, these edges right here. So, Josh, when you were asking about the mirror modifier, particularly with the character, it's really good to get the base. If you don't use the scale modifier, to get the base mesh version out and just do both. Maybe you could even do both sides at the same time and get like all your stuff. Like let's say I do the Control R and add this part so I can have a section to extrude.
It's finding it difficult to work with, like, okay, so there's like a cage and then the subdivision modifier mesh in the inside,
Mm-hmm.
pulling the cage out, and like that is difficult for me to
Yeah,
I can't talk.
with the skin modifier method.
No. Well, that was like almost impossible for me trying to follow along with that video. Like I gave up on that.
Mm-hmm.
This version you're doing right now, um, I forgot what I was going to say now.
The cage.
I don't have it open in front of me. That's the problem. Yeah, I would keep having to redo my work because I couldn't see the cage. Is there a way to like change the color of the cage so it's not the same color as my mesh?
Are you talking about the wireframe?
Yes.
Um.
It's really difficult to see.
Okay, the outline. Okay, so I'm on the far to the right, the top right of the viewport. This drop down viewport shading. This outline, it does have a box so you can change the color.
Okay. Thank you.
So just to actually do that, I'll just click on the box and then, and very important, if you start moving stuff around, it's not going to change because it's all the way down to the black. If you turn it to white, then now you see the color. But if it's all the way down here, you won't see anything. So yeah, cool. So yeah, like I would get all my feetsies and maybe my hand, like my arm, maybe not the specifics of my hand or whatever, but like at least like a bulk for the hand. And then if I just want to have like a little representation of a head for as a base, and then I can continue on next week on the head, I would do all of that first, and then I would split this up, right click and do. So this is just the base mesh. I'm gonna delete half of it. Let me just delete this out again. Delete faces, and then I would do the mirror modifier because, particularly going on the center, it's hard to do the mirror modifier from this point on. Let me see if it'll do it. Okay, I'm on the wrong side. All right. So if I extrude in the Z, depending on how it'll create individual geometry, but also when you're like trying to go all out and stuff, it'll be like it'll give you the blues if you try to. Because when on the longer version of this class, there's a fire hydrant I have people do, and it's just like just do all of the silhouette and the form, and then cut it in half. That'll make your life much easier. That's all I want to say.
All right.
Any last questions?
No, thank you.
All right. If you have
I'm
any
sure I'll
trouble,
send you some confusing emails. Sorry.
it's fine. It's fine. And if feel free to send the Blender file as an attachment as well when you send me emails.
Okay.
All right. See you in the inbox or see you next week.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.